Imagine waking up, checking your phone, and realizing that nearly everything you're about to do that day, from the news you'll see, the route you'll take, to the people you'll meet on dating apps, is being shaped by artificial intelligence. It's no longer just science fiction. In an age of hyper-personalized algorithms, predictive policing, AI-driven hiring systems, and recommender engines that know you better than your closest friends, a deeper question looms. Are machines becoming the architects of our fate? The ancient philosophical debate around determinism, whether all events are preordained and inevitable, is now reborn in the age of AI. Determinism traditionally claimed that every action, thought, or event is the result of prior causes, whether divine, biological, or cosmological. But now, in a digital society governed increasingly by algorithms, a new type of determinism emerges: algorithmic determinism. From the moment a child watches their first YouTube Kids video, the invisible hand of algorithmic profiling begins. The system learns their preferences, predicts their next click, and even influences the development of their preferences, attention span, and mood. One study published in Nature found that machine learning algorithms can predict user behavior on streaming platforms with over 90% accuracy based on as little as 20 minutes of prior usage. Think about that. While classical determinism focused on natural laws, this modern twist focuses on statistical laws, trained on petabytes of human behavior data. AI doesn't just react to us, it increasingly shapes us. Consider an anecdote from real life. A high school senior, Maria, uses a scholarship matching platform that uses AI to suggest programs. Because her social media data and browser history include interests in fashion and beauty, the algorithm filters out STEM scholarships. Unknowingly, her exposure to opportunities is shaped, perhaps limited, by machine-generated profiles, nudging her fate in a direction she did not consciously choose. Similar concerns arise in hiring. A 2018 audit by ProPublica revealed that Amazon's AI hiring algorithm systematically downgraded resumes from women because historical data was biased toward male applicants in engineering roles. This is not just passive filtering, it's a digital gatekeeping of futures. Such systems don't merely reflect inequality, they encode it. These examples illustrate a kind of AI-based fatalism, where human futures are shaped not necessarily by destiny, but by datasets. Now let's pivot to the science behind this. The rise of AI determinism stems from the predictive power of deep learning algorithms trained on massive data. Take the example of language models like GPT or recommendation engines used by Netflix or Spotify. They rely on patterns, clustering, and vector representations of user history to predict what comes next. In effect, your past becomes the input, and your future becomes the output. A 2022 study in PNAS showed that social media data could predict personality traits with greater accuracy than a spouse could, after just 150 likes. This precision raises important philosophical concerns. If machines can predict us so well, are we as free and unpredictable as we think? If a person's next romantic partner, job choice, or even health outcome can be statistically forecasted, what room remains for spontaneity or choice? This brings us to another domain, predictive policing. In some US cities, AI models forecast where crimes are most likely to occur based on historical arrest data. But if the past is biased, over-policing in black or low-income neighborhoods, for instance, the future will be too. This raises serious ethical issues. Is the AI predicting crime, or merely perpetuating a system where certain communities are always treated as suspects? It's a chilling form of technological determinism where an individual's zip code and digital footprint can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The philosophical parallels here are striking. The Ajivika school of Indian philosophy, which flourished around the same time as Buddhism, believed that everything was preordained by fate, niyati, including salvation. Humans were essentially passengers in a train moving along a fixed track. Similarly, some modern tech thinkers warn that algorithmic systems, if unchecked, could create a digital niyati, a world where your future is decided before you realize you're even on the train. In the corporate realm, this determinism shows up in credit scores, insurance algorithms, and targeted advertising. A person who shops at discount stores might be offered different loan rates or fewer luxury goods because algorithms tag them as low income, even if they're simply frugal. You see, AI doesn't understand human context. It understands correlations, but when those correlations drive decisions, they begin to solidify into destinies. A 2020 Harvard Business Review report on algorithmic bias in finance showed that AI-driven loan platforms had significantly lower approval rates for minorities, even when controlling for income and credit history. Why? Because the training data reflects past discriminatory practices. Once again, the machine doesn't have malicious intent. It's simply optimizing for the patterns it was trained on. But the impact is profound. A poor person may never access credit, not because of who they are, but because of how someone similar behaved in the past. This dynamic mirrors fatalism, where no action can alter one's course, except now the gods are machines. But is there hope? Absolutely. Just as the human mind evolved to reflect on itself, society can design reflective algorithms, ones that account for fairness, diversity, and unpredictability. The key is to shift from black box AI models to explainable AI, XAI, from pattern-based learning to value-based design. One promising example is Google's PAIR, People Plus AI Research Initiative, which explores how humans and AI can work together in ways that promote understanding rather than exploitation. Another is IBM's AI Fairness 360 Toolkit, designed to detect and reduce bias in machine learning models. In education, tools like mindprint learning attempt to customize learning, not just based on past performance, but also on cognitive diversity and student strengths. These are seeds of an alternative vision, one where AI supports agency rather than replacing it. But awareness is key. We must educate ourselves and the public about how these systems work. When people understand how data determines their digital experience, they are more empowered to push back, ask questions, and demand ethical accountability. Just like philosophers challenged divine determinism with arguments for free will, modern citizens must challenge algorithmic determinism with demands for transparency, fairness, and humane design. One might ask, are we really giving machines too much power? The answer depends on our design choices, legal frameworks, and moral vision. The human story has always included tools, from fire to the printing press, that dramatically reshaped our destiny. AI is simply the latest, and perhaps the most powerful. But unlike fire, it learns from us. And what it learns, it may soon decide. In closing, the question isn't just, are machines becoming fate makers? But rather, are we as a society okay with letting them be? Determinism in AI is not destiny, it's design. And design is a human choice. The challenge before us is not just to question whether the self or free will exists, but to build a future where systems are designed with humanity at their core, not just optimization. The future is still unwritten, but if we surrender it to unexamined algorithms, we may find ourselves living in a story we didn't write, yet can't escape. In a world coded by machines, the most radical act may be to reassert what makes us human: awareness, empathy, unpredictability, and the capacity to choose meaning even when outcomes are uncertain.